So thanks for your patience while we work through some of this stuff. We weren't able to start setting a single piece of this up until 6 p.m. last night.
Dang.
So this all came together very quickly, so thanks for your patience while we kind of get caught up with getting some of this stuff set up and everything. I'll say this at the front right now, and I'll say it again at the end. Because we're starting a little bit late here, autographs will also probably be starting a little bit late, just to make sure they have the time they need for a break in between. But we'll, just make sure we will make sure that we get the right amount of time for those things. They just might be shifted a little bit. So, yeah, I'm so happy to be sitting right now. You have no idea. Anyway, so why don't we go ahead and welcome our guest of honor up onto the stage for our Friday guest of honor panel. Just everybody, just come on up.
Great to see you guys again.
Turn up row? Yeah, we're on. Okay, awesome. Hey everybody.
Hello.
Hi!
Hello. Hello.
It's on. Is it on?
You're just really quiet. Okay, so why don't we start off, just in case anyone is not completely sure, why don't we go ahead and run down the line, and everybody can kind of say what they do on the show, the characters they play, give people names and or other very notable contributions they have made to the fandom that we're interested. How many people look to see who that was? Michelle.
Yes, well, my name is Michelle Krieger. I play Apple Bloom, as
Apple
well as
Bloom.
the voice of Sweetie Belle. And I have one question for you. You know what I'm going to ask. Aren't you going to stay for brunch? Never saw it coming, did you?
Who knew? Yeah.
Gabriel Brown or Ryan Griffin. Thank you, Ryan. I have a fan here, you guys. Oh my gosh. I have in the show done a few songs in Equestria Girls and such and yada yada. But mostly I did music, Immortal and stuff like that, and music with her. So yeah, there we go.
Some music time. Hey guys, I'm Willa Milner, and I play Princess / Dragon Lord Ember. So if
Agree with me.
Hi guys, my name is Kazumi Evans, and I am the singing voice for Rarity, and the speaking voices
Luna.
for Adagio Dazzle, Octavia, and Moon Dancer. Hi, I'm Shannon Chan Kent, and
Hi, Silver.
I am the singing voice for Pinkie Pie, and play Silver Spoon and Smolder and Lemon Zest.
Woo.
Wallflower.
Wallflower blush.
I had a moment there where I was like, I don't know if we're allowed to
Yes,
say that.
yes, yes.
Is it
I
Aaron?
love Wallflower.
She's cute.
I'm Rebecca Schleichen. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
I'm the singing voice for Twilight Sparkle, and I'm also a Sunset Shimmer and Sugar Belle, and
Sugar
I was a
Belle.
Sweetie Belle in my class. It's like,
And nightlife.
and Nightlighter too.
Hello, I'm Daniel Ingram, and I am the songwriter for the show.
I'm Tony Fleece. I play Twilight Sparkle.
You're so good. Yeah.
Can you get the mics up a bit? I don't think Dan's working.
Yeah, Daniel doesn't.
We've got some front of house
Yours is
sound, but we've got
They're working.
the monitors could use a little bit better.
Just swallow them. Yeah, Okay. No, you're not. Don't lie.
Children's
Okay,
show.
so I have, if you don't mind, a couple questions for y'all. So Daniel, how many songs have you contributed to the entirety of My Little Pony this week? Because you're coming up on a milestone, right?
I know, because I actually asked my assistant to put all the sheet music on my phone in a folder, so let me just check. I know it's 10 minutes
It'll take 10 minutes to learn. As a team. Daniel has a teen, he needs one.
Well, Daniel's looking that up, Michelle.
Okay, there are
He's got it.
MLP charts. It says, oh my god, 121 files.
Wow.
And that's not including Spectre Girls. So I think Spectre Girls is another like 40 songs or something. So it's getting close to.
Yeah, I think you're getting close to 200. If I
Close to 200, yeah.
correctly.
Wow.
Yeah, just an amazing portfolio of work. So yeah, it's a real pleasure to have you and everyone else here as well. Michelle, how many times would you say you said the line, "Aren't you going to stay for brunch?" at this point?
Oh man. First of all, can we all just take a second to appreciate how incredible it is that over all of these years, Daniel has continued to just poop out a new fantastic song. Like, I've just always been so impressed with that.
So Daniel's poop.
I would say it's in, I mean, honestly, it's probably in thousands at least.
Yeah.
Well, not at least, but yeah, definitely, it's past 1,000 for sure. That's a lot of times. Yeah, I'd say we're 1,000. Wow.
Will, a question for you. So I remember that when you were doing the convention a couple of years ago, you had started to watch the series, trying to take it all in. I'm curious, how far did you get through that?
Oh gosh. I think I only got into season 2. There's so much content on this show.
Yes, there
There's
is.
so much to see. It's insane. So, I mean, I watch the odd episodes, especially as they come out. So.
And I know that the weekends, of course, just started. But and this is sort of just a general question for anybody that wants to speak up. I mean, like, in your opinion, how has just the state of the state of the fandom, you can say, like, how do you think it's changed from like 3, 4, 5 years ago, kind of what it was getting to now? Like, would you, I made a pseudo joke at opening ceremonies about how, like, some people are, like, throwing up panic arms and saying, like, the fandom is dying, but I don't see that. I see maybe it's consolidating a bit is the word I like to use. And, but do you feel like the level of the passion of the people that are still here is just as high as it's always been? Would you say that?
Yeah.
I would actually, I'm going to force some of this. I would say that in some ways it increases. Because initially, when the fandom was first growing, it was the novelty of the thing, right? And it was like, ooh, I'm in My Little Pony, ooh, you are too cool. It's like kind of secretive, and the casuals, die off, but the people who are dedicated, who the show has made actually like difference in their life, and who have made friends through the show, they stay involved, and so the fandom becomes tighter, And so that's kind of what I'm seeing. And the very fact that people are afraid of the fandom dying is an indication to me that it isn't, because if it was, no one would care.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
They still have Star Trek
So on that note, I'm going to kind of ask a question to some of the audience. Some of the sponsors, I gave a little bit of a heads up on this. But so just with the music of the show and the fandom, and just how much, and I talked to so many people, especially myself, about how important it is and how much it means to us, how much it affects us and everything. I'd like to invite anybody, sponsors first, if you have something prepared, if you want to share any stories just about how much all of this has meant to you, how much it has impacted you, like anything. If anybody has any stories that you'd like to share, yes, please, there's a microphone right in the middle there. If you have something that you'd like to say along these lines, go ahead and just line up, and we'll like to hear what you have to say.
We all love your skirt. What was whispering about your skirt?
Yeah. I'm super nervous because this is the real me, real hair, real everything, and no one's ever seen me outside of cosplay before. So I'm raw.
You're gorgeous!
And I'm emotional because what I'm about to tell you I've never said out loud to the group. My daughter, who's here with me and has come to all the times, she was born with something called audio-acoustic disorder. And that meant that certain sound wavelengths were actually physically painful to her. And she couldn't hear music the way we do because it would cause her pain. She used to have to wear actual industrial headphones like construction workers wear to even go to school. To participate in classroom activities or music time with other kids. And that was really painful as a mom to see her go through that. And then we started watching My Little Pony. And she loved it so much that she wanted to watch the episodes over and over and over and over and over and over again. And basically, according to the experts at the Hearing Center at Frederick Hospital, because of listening to My Little Pony so much and the music so much, she started to desensitize the things in her ears that were causing her pain. And now, my daughter, who's 13, well, she just turned 14. I can't call her 13 anymore, she told me. She not only doesn't have that problem, but she's a huge fan of the show. She's in a major musical theater company. She takes vocal lessons. She sings, she loves music. She's a huge fan of Michelle, so she's super excited to meet you here today. And thank you to all of you who dedicate your voices and your talents, and thank you on behalf of my daughter for letting her hear music.
Kleenex somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ask right now, is there any staff that can bring some Kleenex just in case?
Yeah, just in case.
Just in case.
No pressure on this next question.
Well, I just want to say about the show, I actually started watching it in early 2012. My little sister, I think she was 8 at the time, she started watching it before I did. And then my dad started watching it. I'm like, Dad, why are you watching that? He goes, because it's really good. I'm like, but it's My Little Pony. And he goes, so it's really actually good. I'm like, all right. And so my dad forced me to watch the first episode. And then he was like, I demand you sit and watch a test. You're going to like it. And I'm like, all right, fine. And so I watched the first 2 episodes, and then I was like, wow, that really was good. And so then now I'm a bigger fan than them. Because and it actually helped me in a way because I was kind of an outcast in school. I didn't really have a lot of friends. But being a part of the community, I made so many new friends, and like Michelle, your music really soothes me, and it really makes me feel happy and calm. And yeah, and you too, Gabe. You all are, and the characters really make me feel like I'm family, like I'm part of this family, and everyone here is so kind, and it's helped me with like my stress and my issues with school and stuff. And when I was wearing my pony shirts in high school, people would gossip about me and say it was weird, but I totally ignored them because the show really taught me that if they don't appreciate you for who you are, then they don't matter to you. Just
right.
So yeah, the show has really made me feel so happy and throughout the years, and I just want to thank all of you for being a part of it, and you really made me feel like a whole new person. Thank you so much.
Well, first I'm going to apologize in advance if everything I'm saying is not understandable. Because I come from a foreign country.
They come
from France.
I guess you're wearing France.
Yeah.
all the friends going.
Yeah. So I need to say thanks for you all guest of honors, because for me it's hard to get reasons to get out of my country. And thanks to the show, and all the friends that I've made thanks to the show, I've got a reason to get out of France and just travel all the way here.
Awesome.
So I just want to thank you for that. You gave me a reason to spend money here. To spend way too much money on stuff just once a year. So thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just want to say, before I found My Little Pony, I never really had a lot of friends, or really any friends. I just kind of went home after work, sat on my computer, played video games, didn't really interact with anybody. One day I watched an episode just off of a website I was on, and they were talking about it. It was Suited for Success with Art of the Dress song, of course. And as I was watching it, I heard Kazumi singing of Clarity, and I was like, that's really good. That episode was over. I went back, rewatched it again. I downloaded the song, put it in the player. Then later, I heard some Brony music on a video I was watching, Eurobeat. I was like, hold on, this guy's making a song about a pony song. Then I learned that there was this big fandom. Now, I have friends back here, I got friends on staff here, I got friends up on stage. I got friends everywhere. And now I got myself to go back to school. I studied game design and programming. I now program games, not professionally yet, unfortunately, but I do have a game that I've started for Ciderfest, hopefully next year. So look forward to everybody, just hang out with everybody.
Do you like Nike? Seems like
Yeah, you're a real Nike guy.
Yes, I come from the Slav lands. It's the squatting exercises with it. My name is Zach, and I just want to really... Oh, no, I'm from Minnesota.
You can pull the voice actor.
That was amazing.
I just want to be really extend a hand of appreciation to you, Daniel. And so my story is going through high school. Just really enjoyed mathematics, numbers, everything, and music actually annoyed me. You know, and seeing kids with their earphones in, or playing it out loud through their MP3 devices, and it was like, oh, it's bad etiquette. Why are you listening to music? And most of it is awful. And so senior year comes around, and I'm thinking about whether I go to the senior all-night party. A few friends invite me over to play Smash Bros. Instead. I'm like, oh, that's great.
It's a good game.
Yeah, it is. And then afterwards, they all just kind of turn towards me.
Oh yeah, new one.
Have you heard about the show My Little Pony? Like, no, I haven't, but it sounds like a children's cartoon. Now, say like now Clifford and Arthur, oh, fantastic shows, and good. Is it hard to sum with the library card?
Oh, having fun isn't hard when you got a library card. I actually know that.
But so they made me watch the first episode, didn't think too much of it, and then months go by into the summer, and I'm just like, I need something to watch. Let me try and watch that My Little Pony show. So watch the first few episodes, nothing. Applebuck season, all right. Gets to episode 11 for the winter wrap up, and
Yeah, that was a good
song
one.
comes on, and
Here's
that's
literally
the
just
end. So I just really want to thank you for the music and your interpretation to really bring the characters to more life, and really the show. It's about storytelling, but really also music is a large aspect of what goes on with the show as well.
Oh, thanks so much.
Thank you.
My name is Matthew. I first joined the fandom in 2015 during the springtime. My sister, who's older than me by 2 years 5 months, she had seen her first episode in 2012, which was the one with Pinkie Pie and the twins.
Baby cakes.
Baby cakes. The first.
That was
She
great
then
episode.
showed me. I've been watching Minecraft videos at the time, and the video that got me was Don't Lie at Night. That one got me into the fandom before I got into the show. 2 months later, with my first episode of Mystery and Friendship Express. The hilarious of the situation between Pinkie Pie and Twilight is what got me in and what sealed it for me.
For me, I got actually started when me and my friend were going to originally watch the Transformers Prime premiere. But it was an hour delay because there was a new TV show called My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And when he was like, you know what guys, it's raining outside, let's just watch it. We're trying to make fun of it. Well, that backfired. And to make matters worse, the song Don't Mind at Night was mentioned.
Well, let's see. Hey guys, anyone know about Sweetie Belle? I've heard that she's here.
I ship it.
And I literally became a voice actor myself, going from My Little Pony voices to Star Wars to even Halo. And now, today, I'm actually working on a project where Star Wars is going to be merging with My Little Pony, and the Empire might win.
2 Star Wars voices.
Fear? You still have.
Everyone.
So I actually owe a lot to this show. So about a little over 2 years ago, I got medically discharged from the military. I didn't take the transition well. Found myself drinking a lot. It got to the point where I even wrote a not so good note about what I might do. And I had tried the show once in the past, never thought it was for me. But one night I just really needed something happy, and that show basically saved me. So I thank you for all the work you have done.
With me, it all started back when I got my first job at, I don't know, 18, because I was a freeloader, and my coworkers were asking me, okay, so what are you into? And I start listing things off, and they say, do you like My Little Pony? And I say, no, I didn't realize I was still going on. That died back in like 06 or something. And they say, well, if you like it, you'll get along great with this other guy. I don't think anything of it, and then I see half an episode, and I'm like, okay, that was kind of amusing. But what got me into it was I started hearing how there was this big fandom that liked it, and I started watching videos, and the fan music really got to me, especially the emotional stuff. And it just became clear, people wouldn't be inspired to put so much dedication if the show didn't speak to them, if the music from the show didn't speak to them. And of course, I started watching it, and the music and the episodes were just fantastic, all the voice acting. Then I forced my girlfriend to watch it, and she's my wife now, so I guess and yeah, I just want to thank you all for all the hard work you put into it, and into just the music, the voice acting, everything. I just would not be the person I am today if it weren't for meeting so many people who are so passionate about such a great project. So thank you.
Hold on. So you had your girlfriend watch the show.
Yes.
And you were boyfriend, girlfriend at the time.
Yes.
And then you were just married after she finished watching it?
If it was the real version, she watched episode 1, looked at me and said, really? You made me watch this? Before it? Watch episode 2? Really? Episode 3? Okay, that's a little bit. Episode 4? Okay, fine, I'll watch it. And well,
City Hall.
She's sitting right back there, so blink twice if I have you here against your will. No, see, she's good.
Hello. Yeah. Give me one moment. Okay. I was just wanting to talk about my first con experience, which was 4 years ago. It was the second run of MLP MSP. I know because you two were there, and it was just a very fun, exciting experience for me, and just I don't normally find myself getting nervous or hesitating to do stuff when it comes to experiencing something new, but I had went to a Q&A panel for the Bronies React. And I went up, I got in the line to, ask a question, and I found myself getting really kind of nervous, so, I asked for a moment, kind of like I just did now. And it's just kind of cool because when I asked for that moment, AC spoke up and he asked me, he asked me some questions about myself. I was composing myself. He asked, is that a wig you're wearing, or did you dye your hair? Because I was cosplaying as Shining Armor, and I dyed my hair completely this bright color of blue. And I told him, yeah, I dyed it. I just wanted to dress up and stuff. And the question I had asked at that thing was, it was fairly new to the Equestrian Girls series. And, within the fandom, everyone has the joke of, oh, everyone hates Flash Sentry. Flash Sentry and Twilight is a terrible ship. So I had asked the question. I'd asked the question, well, if not Twilight, then who would you ship Flash with? And, well, they talked about it a bit and kind of jokingly said, Flash and Black Griffin. Before the end of the first day, somebody presented him with a fan art of His also Flash said.
There's a great picture of him and Vincent, like, recreating that. It's very beautiful.
Which made a lot more fan art happen.
But basically, after that point, throughout the con, everyone kept on pestering him about it and stuff. And I think just the part that I enjoyed, that really hit me the most with that first con experience, was on the last day during the charity auction. Somebody had put the picture signed by Black Griffin onto the charity auction, and my friend, he told me that I should, bid on it because, I contributed to starting this whole fiasco, and I wanted it to be a very memorable experience for me. So everyone was bidding, $20, $30. I stood up from where I was sitting, and I shouted it out, $150. And I just remember that moment very distinctly because you on stage pointed at me and yelled, "You!"
It's your fault.
The fact that you remembered me from the first day, it just made that experience all that fun. And the fact that you came down from the stage to hand it to me personally is just such an awesome moment in my life. It's just you never do better than your first con. You really don't. It's such an awesome moment for me. Thank you.
As we go around, make sure everybody gets a chance to speak. So try and keep your stories just a couple minutes so we can get through the line. Then we'll do Q&A after if we have any time.
Uh-oh.
It all started in 2011. I was at a retreat in Denver where I met these giant group of dorks who were just fangirling over My Little Pony, and I was like, what the heck is going on? These guys are so weird, I will never get into this. And then 2 weeks later, I find myself grounded and forced to just watch TV while it's raining outside. I see, fine, I'll watch one episode.
What did you do to get?
What episode?
I didn't tell my parents where I was going.
Oh.
I went to a county away.
Oh, Nora.
I was 17. I was a teen. Actually, I still kind of do that now.
Do your parents know you're here?
They paid for my flight. Of course they know I'm here. And by the way, since they're going to get to say hi to them, they're going to be like...
Hi, Nora's parents.
Anyway, and my first episode was actually Winter Wrap-Up.
Yay.
And I was like, oh, wow, it's really good. And it's musical, and I like musicals. And I just kept going, and it was basically all the musical episodes: Suited for Success, The Stairmaster, and the one where the Cutie Mark Crusader rock show thing. I forgot the name of it.
Showstoppers. Yeah, Showstoppers. Good episode.
It's been a while. Okay, I haven't seen that episode since in 5 years.
Wow.
And it just spiraled into me becoming friends with so many people. It helped me when I moved to college in Denver. It helped me make so many new friends. And then I discovered this guy during this fandom, kind of tall, dark hair, sings about being proud to be a brony. You guys know who he is?
No.
No. And then through that, I just made so many friends, and I met people, and through going to conventions, I've actually now made more friends and have also now started going into hospitality school. And almost done. I graduate next semester, God willing. And Gabe, you're invited. and I just made so much, and now here I am as a community guest at this convention through ponies, and which I originally hated. And thank you guys so much.
Hi, a couple of you on the stage here already know my story, but I'm going to tell it again for everyone and anyone who hasn't heard it yet. So my name is Charles, also known as musician Strumbeat Strings, and I started watching the show during the tail end of my undergrad career, but the most important time that I needed this show, I needed this fandom, was all throughout my graduate school career. I'm just going to say that at the beginning of that point in my period of my life, I felt like I was going to be destined to be a lifelong failure, a person who will never make it as a music composer, who will never, a musician in general, especially since my advisor at the very beginning, that first year of grad school said, this is Charles, this is just a sophomore portfolio. You have to start over basically, and that's what I did. Instead of just 2 years of grad school, I ended up trying to keep my head in the game for a total of 5 years. Thanks to this show, thanks to this whole fandom, I kept my head in the game. Octavia, I looked at Octavia so much, like I kept on imagining in my head, when I really needed to, that she was mentoring me as a composer, as a student, as a musician in general. And Daniel's music always helped me get through. And before I knew it, I passed my master's thesis of May 2017. I graduated my master's degree in music composition in June of 2017. And throughout those years, I had the wonderful opportunity to accompany Michelle, Gabe, and Rebecca at Brony Can 2015 for the kids sing-along. Last year at Brony Can 2017, I had the ultimate pleasure of co-hosting a panel with Daniel. And I've spoken to Kazumi, 3 or 4 times about my struggles, and here I am now, a year and 4 months removed, graduating my master's. I'm still here, I'm supporting myself with 2 jobs, and I'm still building my repertoire at home. So, everybody in this room who has been going through hard times right now before this con and are going to be facing some difficulties when you get home, you got 9 people right here dedicated to what they do. And whenever you feel like a failure, these 9 people here on stage, just think of them and they can help you go forward to where you want to be. So thank you, everybody. You still have a picture of the studio? I have it framed. Yeah. Thank you so much. All right, thank you.
Don't worry, I have a short one for you. So, if anyone remembers the first Ciderfest, we had a lot of technical difficulties with the concert. There was a delay of about a half hour to an hour almost trying to get everything situated. During that time, there was a crowd of probably between 75 to 100 people standing outside that door. Then the entire crowd broke out in song. We just all of us singing as a group, all the lyrics from the show songs, everything from memory, for the entire delay for the concert. And it's still to this day one of the most powerful pony moments that I've had. Just being in that massive crowd of people just singing our hearts out, waiting to get into the concert. Then Gabe almost kicked me in the head when he flipped off the Alright, thank you.
It was all great when they kicked me in the head.
Just angle it out. You can just tilt it. Darn my tallness. Bless your tallness.
Well, let's just say without this show, I would never have started dating or talking to anybody but my dogs. So you can probably just figure out who's best pony to me. Let's just say the introduction to Fluttershy is pretty much me in a nutshell. Push the right buttons and I'd be like, baby dragon! Or puppies! So I slowly but surely come out of my shell, and my progression is kind of like Fluttershy's. And once I can get used to you, I become Pinkie Pie. Yeah.
Who are you dating?
It's a long distance relationship right now. The first one didn't work out, but I'm on my second one right now.
All right.
And I love him very much.
Well, my introduction to the show came one day, just randomly one day when I was bored. I knew that people liked the show, but it's just a girl show. And it's something I ignore and move on. But I was bored one day. I decided to see why everybody liked the show so much. So I started with episode 1, like, okay, this is pretty cool. And they knew I started a show with Nightmare Moon and all. And then I started watching more episodes. Then I think the time I actually became a brony was when Fluttershy faced down that dragon and yelled at it. That kind of showed me that these characters have a lot of depth and they're not just shallow girl characters. Well, as I was marathoning the show, I also found that there were meetups around the country. I decided to look at my state, Minnesota, and yep, Minnesota bronies. The people that are part of Minnesota bronies, just raise their hand for a minute here. Anyways, I started going to meetups and everything, and then later on with MOP MSP, it was actually my first con, the first MOP MSP a few years ago. Sad it's gone now. Anyways, and it also got me back into some fan fiction writing, something I really dabbled in high school. Anyways, the show actually brought me from just somebody just sits around at home and goes on the computer and free time, maybe communicates with a few people across the street. I actually talk to people face to face at meetups. I go to cons and meet new people there. I actually travel out of state. and it got me, and well, here I am now.
Well, my story essentially begins in like March of 2013, pretty much a month after the third season ended. I had a friend who had watched the show. He was a fan of them. Can't remember if he was really into the fandom, but I started watching it mainly because I was bored one day and just decided to see what all the fuss was about since I had heard about the fandom, and I very much enjoyed it. I didn't really fully enter the fandom until probably about that summer when I joined a My Little Pony role-playing website, and I just started loving everyone in the fandom pretty much, and it's just been so much fun coming to different conventions, including my first one, which essentially started with AC Race Best eating a pickle, and then conventions, the first Winnie City, which was only a few minutes away from my house. I decided to go to it, and I have not regretted opening up my computer and loading up the first episode.
Nice.
Okay, sorry, a bit nervous. So I'm Brian, I'm from Michigan, and I kind of want to just bring it back to music here with the story. So way back, I worked at, well, actually I still kind of volunteer at this roller skating rink. It's in a church, they do it like one day a week, and they still did their music on cassette tapes. So I was the one that was like, I got my new MP3 player, and I was like, can't we just hook up my MP3 player and like, you know, do new music? So I started taking over the music for that. Then I became a brony. So of course, you want to start playing the pony songs that aren't vocally, aren't like, so that people, only people who knew they were pony songs would know. Yeah. So, well, for example, Living Tombstone, Your Big Brony, a lot of the instrumental stuff. Actually, Breach on your 80s.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
remember that? Yeah, that was one of the first ones. So there was one day I was actually playing "Love Isn't Bloom." That's a good song that isn't like overtly about like ponies or anything. And I was playing it, and somebody comes up and is like, "Who's in charge of the music?" And I'm like, "I am." He's like, "We should be friends. We're both bronies." And we became friends after that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and of course, now it's actually that was the last Tuesday. Halloween's coming up. Thriller. Everyone loves that. so I thank you all so much, and I really appreciate the music and the fact that the brony musicians have just like exposed me to so much more music that I wouldn't have otherwise heard of. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dom, and I'm an alcoholic. No, seriously, no.
What? Huh?
I
I'm an
got the
alcoholic.
show in the most unconventional ways. I was just browsing the YouTube one day, and I was watching one of my favorite shows, Death Battle, and one of the matches they had for that show was Rainbow Dash versus Starscream from Transformers.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it, Rainbow Dash beats him.
Yep.
And I just thought to myself, how can a magical Pegasus beat a giant robot?
Because
Starscream's
dork.
And I was thinking to myself, okay, so how do people get into the show? So I just didn't think about it once, but then I was looking through the TV like a couple weeks later, and I saw the ending of Over a Barrel. And I thought to myself, okay, it sounds a little funny. I might as well check the first episode. So I saw the first episode, and then the rest was history from there. And thanks to the show, I started becoming a much better writer and composing how I talk, and also getting out there and also getting rid of my stage fright, to the point I've been also participating in lots of cosplay events, especially in Anime Milwaukee with their cosplay combat chess. I've been doing it every single year, and I want to take the show, and of course some of you who contributed to the show, to help me get out there a lot more.
You guys have such great stories. We're going to go ahead and probably just end the line where it's at right now, just to make sure that we end on time and that autographs can get started at the right time and everything. So, go ahead.
I started watching because I didn't want to get into it, and then my friends told me that there was a character that people thought looked like the Doctor from Doctor Who. I was like, okay, I gotta check this stinking thing out. And I got into it, and I got into some of the fan crossovers, like Doctor Who's an Assistant and Pony in a Box. And one day I was taking care of my great grandma at the time, so I couldn't have a life. I couldn't get out of the house, and so I was on Tumblr all the time. And I saw, it wasn't the first audition I tried for, but it was like one that they had to do quick because it was a birthday thing for one of the, and I got cast as Cherry Bomb in Pony in a Box, and we don't do too much anymore, but because we were there for each other, I know that they're there for me if I really need them, regardless of whether or not we're still putting things out. We're still there for each other, and that's important.
So to be honest, I got here halfway through, saw people lined up here, and I didn't know what the prompt was, but people were talking about themselves, and I'm like, I can do that. So it was probably around 2011, 2012, and my first inkling that there was a new show out was going on tvtropes.org, which if you know about that site, you need to know explanation, but it was listing about different tropes and different media, and it mentioned My Little Pony. And I was vaguely aware that there had been a show at some point, but as I read more and more examples, it was obvious there was a new show out, and I thought nothing of it. But then a friend of mine and another friend of mine turned out to like it, and they linked me the song This Day Aria.
Good one.
Very good song to get me into the show. So then I started the first episode and binge watched it. And there's been a lot of ups and downs in my life, but My Little Pony is a show that I can't say why I like it other than that it makes me happy. It's helped with depression, it's helped get me to write, which is something I've been struggling with for a long time, and I hadn't written fan fiction for any other series except one since then. But the biggest thing I can say about being a brony is that there's a lot of different series I like. I like Star Trek, but I don't consider myself a Trekkie. I like a whole bunch of different things, but I consider myself a brony. I consider myself part of the fandom, and that's something that's never happened before, where I actually kind of felt as though I was in a community that I liked, that I could be proud of. And that involves words I don't have right now. But that's what it means to me.
name is. Well, this one goes out to two of my favorites.
Quentin, step closer to the mic because we can't hear you.
How's this?
A little better.
Okay. It was in 2015. I hadn't gotten into the fandom until a certain special movie, Rainbow Rocks, written personally by Daniel. And what got me into it was a certain voice actress who became a main character in the draft Sunset Shimmer, who I like and appreciate the most. Well, without the introduction of Sunset Shimmer, I wouldn't have got involved in the fandom in the first place. It wasn't until more of the songs, Friendship Games, Legends Ever Free, and so on, in the movie, I get connected more to the song, and I thank Rebecca and Daniel, personally close to my heart, for that having me, from a personal standpoint, for allowing me to hear songs about myself and express kindness to others.
Hello, my name is Damon, and I've been a Brony since 2012. And I just want to say that the show has helped me a lot because the first episode I did see was the Discord episode in season 2, I believe it was. And before I became a Brony, in school I was bullied a lot, and I never really had any friends. People treated me terribly, and I felt so alone and everything. And the show has made me actually have friends and everything. Some people that I actually am connected to thanks to the show, and now I'm a very happy person now thanks to that. And I have many friends who enjoy the show just like me, and it's very glad to be here and everything. So I thank you all for making the show actually happen and to keep the fandom going along with all of us.
Thank you.
I don't know how you guys were keeping it together through all that, because I'm over here just like, so thank you so much for your stories. That was really special. I'm glad we got to do that. So we started a little bit late, so we've got a couple more minutes here. Does anyone have? So first of all, is there anything you guys want to say about anything that you just heard? I mean, like it's crazy how music can affect you, right? Like it's the language of it doesn't need words. Like you can play a song and you can tell somebody a story without having any words and just make them understand and feel something with that. And then of course you add words on top of it, and it's a whole other layer. It's crazy to me. It's amazing to me how music can affect people, how it can make them feel, and how it can make them just do that whole thing. So. Yeah, do you guys have anything you want to say back to the crowd about anything you just heard? Or?
Just thank you for sharing your stories. It's so brave of you, and even though we are all on the show and it might seem like we have a platform, I know that we all struggle with the exact same things that you all struggle with. So, yeah, thank you for sharing.
It's so moving.
Yeah,
It's so moving.
I'm brave. It really is, and it just, I guess, it's not often in our profession that you get to hear back from fans or people that actually watch your work, and to just hear your stories and to hear how you appreciate our work, it makes doing what we do so much better and just so worth it. We wouldn't be here if it weren't for you.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's incredibly motivating. Yeah, and it as you said, it is rare that you get to be in a profession where people can actually tell you that how your work affects them, and it makes what we're doing feel it's like a sense of purpose almost. It's
Absolutely.
So much fun. So, yeah.
And it's also inspiring to see the way that you guys support each other and accept each other and create this community that is so creative and welcoming, and it's like actually inspiring for me in my life and my relationship. So thank you guys for being the way you are. So thank you.
Okay, all right. I think that will go ahead and wrap it up then for the guest of honor panel today. Just a reminder. So in half an hour from now, so we'll probably about 5-ish minutes behind the schedule, autographs will be opening just right across the lobby over in the crystal room over there.
Before we super ditch, can I get a little video of everybody? Because I want to show my mom who I'm hanging out with this weekend. I'm going to start over here, and I think that if we were quiet for a second, and then when I hit you guys, then we could all say, hey, what's up? Okay. You start over here. All right. So we're here at the VA panel, and I wanted to introduce you to some of your friends. Thank you guys so much. Thank you so much.
Make sure you do swing by the consort to grab your autograph and photograph.